next guest is the man who hopes to send Lindsey Graham and his flip-flops on a long vacation to Mar-a-Lago. Please welcome the Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate in South Carolina, Jaime Harrison. Hi, Jaime.
Hi, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us. Jaime,
thank you for having me.
I don't know if people know this nationally, but you really are a pioneer when it comes to using plexiglass at a debate. I think you even invented it, right?
Well, you know, actually, my wife came up with the idea, and my wife came up with the idea, and we set the staff out to go find some, and lo and behold, they did. And so, I wanted to loan it to Kamala for tonight, but I don't think we could have gotten it there in time.
They busted into Sizzler, and they made away with the salad bar. Your opponent, for those who don't know, in this election is a longtime Senator, Lindsey Graham, who's been, is there anyone who scores lower on the integrity scale than Lindsey Graham?
Oh, man, he's the king of flip-flops. There are more flip-flops with Lindsey Graham than there are on Myrtle Beach right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call him. I think flip-flops is too generous a term for what. I mean, just for example, and I know you know this stuff, for those who don't know, this is a guy who called Donald Trump a kook, crazy, said he was unfit for office. Now he's on his lap riding around in a golf cart. Trump insulted one of his dearest and closest friends who passed, even in death. He insulted Senator John McCain. Now they're buddies like you can't believe. This is a guy who made a big point of saying you cannot appoint a Supreme Court justice nominee during an election year, said, put me on tape, hold me to this, and sure enough, he's doing exactly the opposite. I mean, it's just shameless.
Oh, well, it is. And, you know, and I called him out at the debate that we had on Saturday. And I told him, you know, the greatest travesty that you can do as a public servant is to lie to the people that you represent. And it's sad to see him do that. And then the excuse, well, such and such did this to me and such did that to me. I mean, come on, just be a man about it. Stand up and say, you know, I changed my mind, or just do something. It's really sad, though.
It is, and because he is a guy who used to, on occasion, stand up for something that ran contrary to his party, but he seems to have changed for the worse, and which is good news for you, because whereas it would have been unthinkable for a Democrat to win in South Carolina, the Cook Political Report, which is a very, I guess they follow these things very closely, today they called your race a toss-up, which has to be exciting for you, I would imagine.
Oh, Jimmy, it is so exciting right now, and it's sort of sad to see how anxious and desperate Lindsey Graham is. You know, he goes on Fox News every night now, begging for money, crying. And so if you don't mind, I just want to give him an example of what he should do. So, Lindsey, you just look in the camera and you say, go to JaimeHarrison.com and help us. You don't have to cry. See, you can smile.
Jaime, I think you're doing a very interesting thing. The way one of the ways you're raising funds and drumming up support is with a program called Harrison Helps. That is a very unusual take, I think.
Yeah, you know, Harrison Helps is our service initiative. I'm a big believer in showing and not telling. And so we go into communities to show people what our values really are. We've done so many things, from Habitat for Humanity, Ronald McDonald House. I've made dinners for folks. We've even done a school supplies drive. Jimmy, just recently we raised $15,000, gave out over 800 backpacks to needy families and their kids. And so I'm really, really proud of the work that we're doing on the ground, helping people right now.
You're getting so much attention. You've been endorsed by, you know, President Obama, Joe Biden, obviously. The late John Lewis gave you an endorsement. And you got an unusual endorsement from none other than Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, who wrote, "Dear Jaime, if you can send Lindsey home, I'll give you 1 million likes and you'll be my second favorite Harrison."
I can tell you, Jimmy, when I got that, I was actually in bed and I was looking at my cell phone, and my wife was asleep, and I saw that Mark Hamill retweeted me, and then I saw he responded, and I almost jumped out of the bed, and my wife was like, what's going on right now? I was like, Luke Skywalker actually sent me a tweet.
Maybe they can swear you in with a lightsaber. You have, I think, a great story. You were a high school teacher for a time. You were a bingo caller for a time. How long did you call bingo?
That was my first job. The first job I ever had. I was about 16 years old, and I worked at a bingo parlor every Sunday and Monday nights. And one of the memorable moments was my boss was just encouraging me to call very quickly because I was a guy to pull the balls out of the machine and put them up there. And he wanted me to call so quickly. And there was this senior older woman sitting right in front of me, and I was calling so quickly. And she looked at me and she said, "Boy, you better slow your behind down." Now, she didn't say behind, Jimmy. She said something else, but I knew she was serious.
Yeah.
So I did that.
You don't mess with seniors when they're playing bingo. That is a lesson I learned from my grandmother. Right. You get a dauber right to the forehead.
That's exactly right.
What are you going to do on election night? Do you have it planned out?
No, we're trying to figure that out. You know, given COVID, normally we would have this big party and tons of folks in a hall and celebrating. But given that we're in the midst of this pandemic, we're trying to figure out how we can do something that's COVID safe because we're going to win, Jimmy. And I want to make sure that we celebrate with all the folks that made it possible.
Well, I think it would be an amazing thing if you did. Personally, I hope you pull his balls out of the machine like you did when you were calling bingo. And I won't ask you to comment on that, but...
No, I don't want to comment on that.
Thank you for taking time. I appreciate it. Jaime Harrison, everybody, in South Carolina. We'll be right back with music from Natani Alcano. If you like that video, click subscribe, and we'll be together until one of us dies.